So, during the Brit Tzaddik owes Father Chanukah. Inyan Nes Chanukah she'eno doma Nes Purim, ושאר גאולות. But Chanukah is not like Purim and other Gaulos. The Bikש להשמיד את כל היהודים. The Hamas wanted to destroy all the Jews. היה נס לא נתקיימה מחשבתו, and this wasn't fulfilled. ונהפוך. משקיעים בימי היונים. As opposed to the Greek שעמדו לבטל סיסור מתורה ומצות, וכפי הראות עשה בידם אז ביקש. It seems that they were at least partially successful, at least temporarily. שהרבה מישראל המירו דעת רחמנא ליצלן. Many Jews became Hellenists. So, what exactly? By Purim, there was a complete and total salvation. By Hanukkah, it's a partial salvation. If it all, and even that we know wasn't of the highest quality. So, what do we celebrate exactly?
Do we know historically what happened to the multitudes of Hellenists after the Nes Hanukkah? Was there
They became the Tzaddik. No, they became Tzaddik.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Tzaddik probably also patriotic. They didn't want the Greeks around either, but they liked the Greek way of life. So there's this.
Okay, so
they were the Tzaddik were very were intertwined. So they obviously didn't want to base Hamikdash, which was governed by the Greeks. They wanted to base Hamikdash back for us. Right, because I don't know most of the Tzaddikim were Kohanim, or even if most of the Kohanim were Tzaddikim, but there was a very high percentage. Right. So yeah, yeah. So they were around till the Churban, and then I'm sure many of them became Christians over time.
And there's like a big gap of time between them and the Karaites, or like
they
morphed into the Karaites?
No, so there are those who hold that they became the Karaites. That's what Cannán himself said. Yeah. But it's not true. Right. No.
So the hundreds of years earlier.
Right. Okay. So, Achlinin that Yitzchak smelled the fragrance of Yaakov's garments. Chazal say, even the traders in Israel have a reach hasadeh. This is very appropriate for our day, for our time, when you see that even people who are very, very far from Torah mitzvahs at the time of this war, the Harאות, many of them became very close, right? So here it says that, and the examples brings down here are Yochum Yisroel, Yosef Meshisa. I don't remember what he did. But Yochum Yisroel, Sheh ben Achasoshe, Yosef ben Yoezer, he was the one who was fulfilling himself for Mitzvahs based in. And the Tshuva and got to Gan Eden before Yosef ben Yoezer. However, it's my say about him, Nitla Oz, there was a time the great body when Yosef ben Yoezer was hanged. Vukiba Mantuninus. And he was, Yosef ben Yoezer was Makabel for Antoninus. Shem Osasma Paku Tamidav, Tzaddik Basis. Yosef ben Yoezer represented the faction which remained loyal to Torah, as opposed to Tzaddik Beitus who went off, right? Ki nispatu l'chachmei yavanis. So that's what we just said a few moments ago. They really wanted to convert. Actually, Boshu Lassos came. They were embarrassed. V'pakru b'Torah Sh'Peh. So therefore they night Torah Sh'Peh happened nagi l'chachmei yavanis, which goes against Greek philosophy. V'yakum gakim mitchila nispateh. The Yaakov also was initially seduced by this, as any other Hellenist, slash Tzedoki. And he denied Kedusha V'Amisak much because of Shalom Amar Yossi ben Yoezer. Chame, see, Susi, my horse, the Arkave Mari that my master put me on, Sheracham al Sus b'Shabbos. Is riding a horse on Shabbos, which of course is part of Torah Sh'Peh, not Torah Sh'Miksab. Right? This is riding a horse, is only the Rabbanim. V'chami Susach, the Arkavach Marach, Hakreli Tolos Oleh. And see, you're also being Michal Shabbos, because you're carrying the beam which you're going to be hanged on. Canal. So, V'yesh L'Mashiach, Ein Hispakrus Tzaddik with Torah Sh'Peh. And so he says that this is similar to the Hafkerus of Tzaddik, Ki Rechiva b'Shabbos Hurak Isser Shvus Rabbanim, because riding on Shabbos only Isser Rabbanim. Mikol Kol Nichasu B'Libo Divrei Yosef Ben Yezer. The words of Yosef Ben Yezer, which we said, Im over in Sono Kach, Im Osir Sono Kach, over in Sono Lachas Kama V'Kama. I believe that's what he said. So the words penetrated his heart. Came out to Arba Mises based in. V'shal Kala Kadmul Yosef the Gan Eden. Ken Yosef Meshisa Av Shepakar B'Mikodem V'Nichlas V'Heichal. I really don't remember the story. But he went to him, he wouldn't do it again, and he wouldn't agree to do it again, he did Mesiras Nefesh K'Shem Shemayim. Mazel Reach Begodov, the Dorish K'mo Reach Begodov. That is the idea of Reach Begodov. Reach Begodov, Fu Mehareach Shel HaBekida, Shem Mikodem, from the fragrance of the begido, of the treason, which come first, this Alabi Yeser says there's a greater uplifting, in other words, a greater Kiddush Hashem, a greater fulfillment of the Tachlis of Bria, when the inner recesses of the heart are revealed. And Shorish Am Yisrael connecting Kedusha, even, he's saying the Boigdim, even the ones who are Boigdim. Now, if Reb Tzaddik was a good Hungarian Rebbe, he would say, these guys are from the Erev Rav. They're from Amalek. We don't want anything to do with them. Right? But he's not. Reb Tzaddik is not from that school of thought, obviously. So he's saying that, on the contrary, we really, even the Nidachim, they want to do the Ratzon Hashem. Mima'akim Soshim Isa. Even the worst of the worst, like Yossi Ben, like Yaakov Soros and Yossi Beshisa were before the Tshuva. And this is classic Ishbitz, that if the tshuva is so powerful and such Kiddush Hashem, it shows that the treason was also Ratzon Hashem. Right? So that's the idea that the Chet also is pre-programmed into the Bria. Which of course also means that Ra is pre-programmed into the Bria. Right? They go together. Why, Hashem, did you make us deviate from your ways? When you wanted, you put the Shvati in the mind, the Shvati, I guess, to love Yosef. When you wanted, snow. Amazing. Because Baruch Hu, according to this Medrash Rabbah, Hashem's the one who determined that the Shvatim should hate Yosef. The Chorah say to Mupach. First, it should be the opposite. He says, Shemazkir mikodem nasati bam lehov. That's not just say, B'shah shenemar v'avru anashim miyonim she'amar avru oslan dayonim. I guess that they said, I guess it's part of the Medrash that the Avru anashim miyonim means they felt mercy. That's right, why they actually, I guess, sold him as opposed to killing him. But in any event, it should say that first they had lehov, and then lisno, which means snow, then lehov. And then kikenu haseder. This is the idea. She's vadola adam hamikodem. She's vadola adam mikodem, batach minavsho. When a person knows ahead of time what's going to be. So he's batam minavsho shemasav batovim einon mikocho. Rak. No, she's vadola adam mikodem. I think it's like this. I'm not sure exactly how. One of the words seems off here. When a person finds out, then he finds out later on that even the sino was part of the ava. In other words, the purpose of the sin was the ava. So this nasat b'libam lehov, and as a result, nasat b'libam lisno. In other words, the distance is necessary in order to overcome it. אדם כי הוא עושה כשסבר לאדם מקודם בבטח בנפשו שמעשיו הטובים אינם מכוחו. רק מה שכוחו סוד יסברך. And there's more than that he's saying here. He's saying that also this gives a person the understanding that his good deeds are not his own deeds. They're from Hashgacha b'Kodesh Baruch Hu. So it's just like the bad comes from Hashem, Kaviyachol. So to the good comes from Hashem, Kaviyachol. There's this idea of not true Bechira. What? Yes, but that is very...
I mean, what if a person had not chosen to do tshuva? Then, I'm afraid the Ra wasn't
right.
Wasn't Latov?
Right, but he's saying it's pre-programmed.
So a person didn't... So
saying both, neither from the person himself. In other words, the person's question the person's attitude, how he responds to it, but there is the Maisa and the Machshava, and then there's the attitude towards it. So the Maisa and Machshava could be that they're both from Shemayim. The attitude you take towards it, that would be also why it's such an important thing to be Oved Hashem b'simcha. Because to be Oved Hashem, maybe you're forced to be Oved Hashem. Maybe that was the Yodam Bechira on that. But to do b'simcha, that you do a Bechira on. So that's like Tarashah Lovat L'Shankel b'simcha Tov Levav is such a taina because whatever you did, maybe you did because Hashem made you do it. And they could say, well, Hashem could have made me do it the right way. But the taina is on the lack of simcha when you did have the chance to be Oved Hashem.
So what they say are I don't know who, Golby, I don't know, somebody, one of the listeners says that the story with Dina was the owner for Yaakov for not allowing Dina a chance to influence him. So what do you mean? But what wouldn't have worked, right?
Right.
Because it should have been painful, It
should be called pain, not hana. Right. You said the out from Slobodka. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so v'zeu k'shotzitzu nesati b'dam le'ahov. Son, you want Hashem? You put in their heart to love. As gam im chaliz damei v'ol l'flamim eiz ha'maiser shaloko. Okay. Yochol liftach shegam zeh hayo b'ashkochos yisborach. V'ayno safli b'am snow. So. Tzaddik and Tzaddik makes it clear you can't rely on this, right? It's a way of understanding things in theory and practice. Unlike the Yishbitzer, who seems to hold that it's all predetermined and predestined, Tzaddik seems to hold kind of a soft determinism. That it's not always the case, but it very often is the case. Al Zem Rambis David HaMelech Alav Shalom Hashem Roi Lo Echsor. Hashem is my shepherd, I will not lack. He's going to conduct me in roads of righteousness, Laman Shmo, for his name. Hashem was clear to the opposite him. Hashem is Roho Manhigo Lelechs Magli Tzedek V'Yosher V'Lo B'Kocho Yikbar. It's only Siyat Shema they went in Tzedek and Yosher. It wasn't of his own doing. Aidei Zeh, so Gam Ki Eilech. Okay, some of us, Hashem Imadi, right? If Hashem is taking me down this road, He must be taking me down the other road as well. But I find myself in that situation. I won't be afraid. This of course was a contemporary of Baal Shem Tov. He was, I don't even think he was a Talmud Chaver. I think he was like just a Chaver, but he was a very early Chasidus. Shebeneos Chanukah Yeshis Galus Orosh Mashiach. There's a revelation of the light of Mashiach in Neos Chanukah. Remez Dvareinu Hanal. How so? Marshmanam B'mashkos with Yaakov Avinu Lo Meis. Why Yaakov Avinu didn't die? Because he had Kedusha Kmo Adam Rishon Koidem HaKilkul. Elio similarly, they're more literally perhaps. But everybody else has to have a taste of death. Because the counsel of the Nachash is still alive within us. Who come out, Shekim Olashel Tshuva. He's seen as an archetype of about tshuva and what he did for tshuva for Bathsheba. Gam hapgam shemikoidem. So so you can also be masaking the pgam. She nefah nasus k'schuyos. That they can be like schuyos. V'ayna she'izbarer shegam b'zer yom eshkachos yizbarach mikoidem. This indicates that even this was from the Ashkach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. K'mash kasav im yuchat reichem kashonim. David HaMelech also says a very strange statement in Sanhedrin. He says, you know what, God, I could have withstood the Israel, but I didn't want to make it look bad. We learned that in Sanhedrin. David HaMelech said. So it's a very strange statement. According to this, it's a little bit more understood. In other words, David HaMelech said, I Pitav, I would have withstood the Israel, but you put me in a situation, right? Therefore, since I saw you put me in a situation, it was such in such a powerful way. I saw clearly that your ratzon was that I should sin and then do tshuva afterwards, right? Which is what Chaviach Hashem said. He wanted him to sin and do tshuva afterwards. So that means that he said, "That's when you sins are like years, and they're just like years are." Where the building time is the building block of creation, so the sins are part of that building block. And that is part of the Gemara says in Shabbos that the black goats come before the white goats, and that the horror comes out of the chashocha. Says Shorish Orosh Mashiach ben David. Shehema Chaye Olam. This is the Shorish of the light of Mashiach David, which is the Chaye Olam. What's Chaye Olam? She's Barish Kol Kikulim Meshkochoso. These bark. All Kikulim were from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's master plan. If you took them yesterday, says the Tov Ma'od, and they'll be fixed and be even greater. Yosem Tzaddik Mekor, more than a person who was born a Tzaddik. Shu Mechinas Moshe ben Yosef Shlo Yelokim. Mashiach ben Yosef. Mashiach ben Yosef is considered to be Yosef at Tzaddik, never succumbed to Nisayon, right? So Mashiach ben Yosef represents never succumbing to Nisayon. But that doesn't last. Mashiach ben Yosef dies. Because that's not the ideal in this world. Then in this world is Makom Shabbat Tshuva Amdim Ein Tzaddik Gvorim Amdim. That there should be a higher level which comes from Dafka doing the opposite of what you did originally. So the opposite is also built into the Bria. So that was revealed by Neis Chanukah Kedvarenu. Shenis'al ha'areach baigdim b'yeser seis. Ha'ikdidush Hashem shemosu nafsham. So even though they were tzloikim, even though they were Hellenists, they're moser nefesh. He brings down these two examples, which we know of. But saying that that's the Simcha of Chanukah is that you have baigdim, who nevertheless demonstrated ultimately that they had this deep down emunah. It says the Arba Chilukei Kapara, what's Mechaper in the spot, when you need Yisurim for, etc., what you need Misa for. And it says, Amishi Chilu Hashem Biyado, Chulei, Kulam Tali Misa Marekas. Somebody did Chil Hashem, there's nothing which happens. Not Tshuva, not Yisurim. You need Misa in order to atone for Chil Hashem. Misa also Mechadam Chil Hashem. It says, what's Chil Hashem? Rabbi Yochanan Markon honor the Masigna Arba Amasrul Teirul. If I went 4 hours without Torah and without tefillin, that would be Chil Hashem. Hainu, she'yida she'echrech l'chol nefesh, litlos mo hamisa minora alila, aydei b'kam shechil Hashem. In other words, everybody does a Chil Hashem on some level. What Rabbi Yochanan was saying, what's the shot is the Chil Hashem? You went 4 hours without Torah Tefillah. So Rabbi Tzaddik is saying that it means not that he was Mechal Shem Shemayim in the classic sense, but it's Mechal Shem Shemayim in that there was a greater Kiddush Hashem he could have done, and he didn't do the greater Kiddush Hashem. So that is the and that's enough a reason for a person to die. These Amoraim were saying, even though I was a tremendous tzaddik, I did wonderful things, there was this Nakuda which could cause me to have to also die. Even Dakistik Nakuda. Even not a real Chil Hashem. But it's enough that death is justified.
So therefore, I should recognize that the fact that I didn't die is all the Torah Baruch Hu?
What?
Therefore, it's a hakara that the fact that I didn't die is just it's all the Torah Baruch Hu. They really don't deserve it, so he's just
no, nothing to do with that. It's just saying that we're trying to justify death. Why is death necessary for? Why do people have to die? Why can't everybody be like David or like not like David, like Elio and like what was the other name mentioned? Yaakov and Lomes, right? Why can't everybody be on that madrega? So he's saying because everybody adil chil Hashem to a certain extent. Okay, so that's why not everybody can be, that's why not everybody, very few people can actually be immortal. I believe it's the Nefesh says that chil Hashem is lashon chalal, right? Everybody left a vacant space in which HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not fill. Even somebody who didn't fill that space with averos, they left that vacant space, which there could have been Kiddush Hashem, there wasn't Kiddush Hashem.
What are the first principles he's working with, like the value of life? Like, meaning in the Ramchal world, what's the point? Because you could stay in a prison forever? Like there's no big kunst, you know what I'm saying?
Ramchal had half a foot out of Olam Hazeh his whole life.
Fine, but I'm saying...
Most people are not like that. Most people, they're here to... Ramchal was a very holy person. He was probably holy from a very young age. So for him, everything was...
He shaved when he was young.
Well, all the Italians shaved. So, all modern Orthodox. But they're Tzaddik, you know.
I suppose he stopped shaving. He was rebuked by somebody.
It could be. It makes sense that would happen, especially since he moved to Israel. I assume he stopped shaving there.
Yeah.
So, in any event, so the most people have to contend with this world.
But even I'm talking about on what it called, on a ideological level, right? In the Ramchal system, on an ideological level, like Taka, it's a kasha, Yaakov and Lomes. Okay, therefore what? Like why is that? What does that show? Meaning, does he is Tzaddik comes from a world where there's more value to Olam Hazeh? It's not just a utilitarian place. Right,
yeah. Yes. Which is about the Baal Tanya Shita.
That what?
This world has a the Piasetzner makes that difference between. This makes that distinction between Chagas Chasidim and Chabad Chasidim. Chagas Chasidim holds this world is nothing, and Chabad holds it is something. And ultimately, most Chasidim come from the Tanya. I mean, the Tanya is the classic work which underlies most Chasidus. But yeah, I think Tzaddik was concerned with this world more than let's say the Hungarian Chasidim. I'm sorry, went back. They were saying apologetics for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that this is enough for them to be killed. If somebody can give be meiser nefesh for in this case it's for okay Israel, but also for Am Yisrael. So then, that's an incredible thing, and that is already a harbinger of Mashiach, when that tikkun will come to its ultimate fruition. All these ability kutim mir pinchas zal shemneis chanukah ora me ora ganos tzadikim wasi level. Not just ora shemashiach, but ora ganos tzadikim, which is an even higher level of light. Bugakin al remez hanal kam ram came she start Kosh Baruch with Dora Mabul. When Kosh Baruch looked at Dora Mabul shmasem bekukolim, he saw they were going to be bad. Amar v'gonzo mehem, he took away the light from them. Lemi gonzo, let's say the real light of the sun. Mi gonzo tzadikim lasi level. B'ayna oras Mashiach. Sisvad Hashem kol kilkulim hey b'ashkach. And the illumination of Mashiach is that all the kilkulim retroactively will all be shown to be b'ashkach. But you can't do it in this world before Mashiach. That's what I said before. And Tzaddik says you can't use this as an a priori excuse. You can't say Hashem made me do it, I'm going to go sin, right? That would undermine the entire system, right? So therefore, in In this world, you can never understand necessarily how good things, bad things led to good things, but that's part of the or of the tzaddikim osi level. Why reacha? Hainu le'arei v'chorei b'nafsho she'enu yotzei dechavos l'tomi. A person who trembles that he's not yotzei, he doesn't say, "Well, Hashem had me do this. I did it. But I was yotzei." Biדם nafsho she'masav einu kogen. He knows that he's nothing is perfect. Even Rabbi Yochanan said, "I'm not perfect. I've gone arba amos without Torah, without tefillin." Because having that yira comes, the person brings the person to tshuva. They should lo yashu masa beinav the negative love. No matter how great we are, there's nothing compared to the greatness of Kodesh Baruch Hu towards us. Sorry. A love needs manu harazu. Such a person, this light is hidden, is kept in reserve. That all beginos were also put in the hashgacha, but need kan kol yos tov kanal. Everything becomes good. I guess I'm doing the base mikdash. The Medrash says, Meir l'olam. It must be in Parashat Tetzaveh. That it's an or to the world. Shneimar v'oretz ha'ira michvodo. Through the menorah. That's why the Meisim are having l'maisi yedecha tichsof. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need the or the menorah, but he wants us to bring that or nevertheless. If we're Meir Lefanav by our Ishtadlus, so then he reciprocates by putting a Shechina there and demonstrating with the Ner Maravi. Much customary, like Mer says. By Shagam Maisa mitzvahs haneros umitzad Hashem Yisbarach. The Maisa, the Maisa, the mitzvah of haneros in the Beis HaMikdash is mitzad Hashem Yisbarach sholech ha'ora b'leiv. He gives the light in the heart, and that's symbolized by saying Yichud Shem and Zayzach, right? In other words, take it from me. But it's attributed to a human being in order that people should feel that accomplishment of what they've done and sense that they've contributed to the mission and the purpose. So ultimately, what he says that Chanukah is taka, not a yontiv of Atzalah. It's a yontiv of serious nefesh. It's a yontiv which shows that even people who are, you would have expected, not to be noiser nefesh, as under the Greeks say easy and pleasant, and made them like the Greek way of life, still they are noiser nefesh. And I think that's very, very apropos for this time. I saw a cute Rashi Tevos. Not that Rashi Tevos mean anything, but Chanukah is Rashi Tevos. Hamas nichna v'kol nechtafim. Kol nechtafim huchzuru. Ches Hamas nafal v'kol chatufim. No, it's not chatufim. Nechtafim. Kol nechtafim. No. Hamas nafal v'kol. I don't remember what the call was. Because something huchzuru. Because anyway, the Rashi Davis doesn't prove anything. So, but the point is that, of course, we hope that this Hanukkah will be the time when we see that through the mysterious nefesh of Miשראל, we'll get another Yom Tov. Okay, shkoyach.